So we're going to start our pitch competition with Aryan Bhatnagar and his company, Easy Tutor.
All right, so good morning, judges. My name's Aryan, and I'm the founder of Easy Tutor. Easy Tutor was originally started as a peer tutoring marketplace. Our goal was twofold: to provide learners with top-ranked and affordable peer tutors from the same community, and to provide peer tutors an engaging and insightful learning experience to help students from their community. So why did we start? We started because I saw my little brother as he was traversing supplemental education places like C2, Kumon, Gideon, KD, and he hated it. He hated going. He lacked the engagement with the instructors there. And so I thought, why can't we empower our peers to motivate young students? I know my brother's 8 years younger than me, but I could never get him to admit that I could be a role model for him. So I said, what if I found other kids better than me in my community, and I connected them to him for tutoring and other insightful guidance. And so essentially Easy Tutor started, and 4 main pillars we started on were comfort for learners to get a more efficient tutoring session complete. We wanted quality, and we wanted students that were determined to make an impact in their community. And then affordability was a big pillar we started on because private tutoring is expensive. If you're from Dallas, you know it's about $70 an hour. We charge 60% less than the market rate. And the last thing is an insightful relevance that our tutors provide that elder tutors outside of the ecosystem that your learner is in cannot provide. So how does it work? So you enter your subject online. You can choose at home so you go to our website, you can enter your subject, you choose at home or in-person tutoring. You can let our algorithm, which incorporates motivation and learning styles, to match you to a tutor we think is the best fit, or you can filter and choose from the profiles available, and then you begin learning with us. We're a pay-as-you-go service, no lock-in fees, no hidden contracts. You can learn at your time when you want. So who do we hire? So you're probably wondering, why should I get a peer tutor when I could get someone with decades of experience? And, the thing is, the subjects we tutor, they don't take years of expertise in. We can afford to hire top students from the community, and typically we hire the 99th percentile in GPA and 99th percentile in SAT and ACT scores. We take students that are already polished, and we give them the resources to really make an impact in their community. So ever since we launched, we've done a little over $250,000 in revenue in one city of Coppell. If you guys are from Dallas, it's a town of about 40,000 people, and it's where I'm from. And we thought after our pilot program that we would scale this hyper-local model across DFW. But then this happened. And so when COVID happened, we essentially lost our entire supply chain of tutors and learners overnight. Due to no business, we really investigated our model, and what we really learned is the harsh truth is we're not that different. We don't really have a differentiating factor amongst other peer tutoring platforms, and we realized it was time to pivot. What we did realize that we understood very well is the pain points of running a tutoring business, the operations, the accounting, the marketing, all of the daily aspects that go into running a tutoring marketplace, we understood. And essentially what we realized we had is an entire end-to-end integrated suite that we could sell to tutoring businesses. 40% of the tutoring market is dominated by sole proprietors and small pop-up shops in local areas. And a lot of these businesses struggle with bookkeeping and the operations of the venture. Now, if they were to receive a tool that could help them streamline the operations, they could essentially double their workflow given they have the appropriate amount of tutors. So we have a learner dashboard, a tutor dashboard, and an admin dashboard that can be customized per these tutoring business requirements. So essentially what we do is we come in at the back end and we offer a multitude of services. So think of a Stripe or a Square for a tutoring business. So you can go in, customize your entire front end. So you won't even see a business owner won't even see the Easy Tutor name pop up. It's their company. We're just running the back end of it. We have everything from scheduling, automation, payment dispersals, marketing APIs, newsletter functionality, everything you could think of to start and handle a tutoring business from the palm of your hands. So the new business model we've switched to is we are offering the entire end-to-end integrated tutoring platform, and businesses pay a certain fee depending on sessions per month, individual business needs, and seasonal needs and flexibility. In addition to this, while working with the KIPP schools here in Dallas, they're a charter of underserved schools that help underserved students, we've realized that certain districts want to subsidize tutoring. So they make tutoring free for students within the district while empowering their students financially. So we handle the back end flow of that. And so with that, I give you Easy Tutor, and I'd love to open it up to any questions you guys may have now.
All right, thank you. We have a time for a few questions. And so judges, if you're asking a question from the back, you have to be real loud and make sure you enunciate. But anything from the front room? Any questions for Ari?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I'd love to know, what is your scaling plan for 2021?
Yeah, that's interesting. So we've changed a lot from our original plan. And so the scale right now is we've started discussions with districts to serve as a platform to foster peer tutoring for them. So I guess we're in our immediate goal for 2020 for software as a service sales, it's going to be targeted at DFW districts. So there's about 37 school districts here in Dallas, and we've started discussions we've reached out to all of them. And right now we have a pilot program that's going to take place with the KIPP schools. And if that is successful, then they're going to engage nationally. So there's about 200,000 students, and it would essentially be a $1.5 million deal over the course of 3 years. Now for the other model, we're reaching out to school districts as well, because a lot of the tutoring companies that will pop up in places like Coppell, Farmont, like in Coppell itself, I can think of 4 businesses that former teachers within the district started that run tutoring. They need help with these kinds of things. So a lot of the scaling in terms of our leasing our software to other businesses will come from word of mouth as of right now.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to the virtual judges, Simon or
Hello. Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, all right. Great. Love the pivot. Can you update the judges on what exactly is the status of your software platform? I mean, is it in beta mode, or are you in production? Sort of update us on that.
Right. So it's actually funny because it's actually been in production for about 5 months now. So the only problem is when COVID happened, every other month I'd be like, all right, let's launch the hyperlocal model. But something inside of me told me that there was a big weakness. And I think the biggest weakness was there's high turnover. If we hire a senior at Coppell and that's the family's favorite tutor and he goes off to college and doesn't work with us anymore, we lose that customer. And as much as I love the other model, we've been building this platform for about 2 years. I know Ms. Eminger herself has been hearing it's almost done. It's almost done for about 2 years now, but it's been done for about 6 months and it's completely ready for market today.
So as of right now, there's no external customers testing it or experimenting with it?
So we have about 30. We're continuing tutoring. So we have about 30 learners right now that are tutoring in Coppell, just the outside consumer model to make sure our platform is functioning. And then we have one pilot program for a local tutoring business, and they're testing it out, and everything seems to be working well for them. They're able to really not worry about operations at all.
Okay.
And they're ready to scale forward. So everything's functioning well.
Very good. So right now for your platform, you're at the pilot stage with one customer. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Simon. Okay, we're going to have to move on to our next. Arian, thank you so much for a wonderful pitch. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, so thank you so much. All right, our next pitcher is Will Cabby, and he will be pitching to you his plan for a virtual record store. Will,
Okay, hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm William Cabby, and this is Virtual Record Store, or VRS. So Virtual Record Store is a website where you can rate songs on a gas or trash scale. Gas meaning you like it, trash meaning you dislike it. You also have a review system which allows users to further explain what they like or dislike a song, and forums where users can respond to one another and talk about new music or whatever they want. On top of this, we have a Discover quiz, which users can take, and it will give them new music to listen to based on their current music interests. We really do offer a very fun and interactive experience, but it all started with a question. So back in October of 2020, I was listening to a lot of music. more than usual as I had little to do while attending SMU virtually. During this journey of music discovery, I often wondered if an album was worth listening to, or if some obscure song I found was liked by the general public. There must be a website for this, I thought, where I could rate, review, and discuss my favorite music. However, upon searching Google, I couldn't find one. I wondered if there was some reason for this, like maybe there was no interest in it. I asked around my family and friends and did some research and realized this couldn't be the case. Everyone I spoke to said they would love a website like that. And music streaming and social media use are both continuing to climb nationally, with almost 80% of adults now using at least one social media and over 700 billion music streams in 2019 alone. There's clearly a market for it. So I approached my friend Eric Lowe, who has worked as a developer on many projects and has countless hours of coding experience. He was very receptive to the idea, and we immediately started working. Pictured here is one of the first HTML mockups we made back in November. We decided on the name Virtual Record Store as we wanted it to feel like we were walking into your local record store, hearing others' opinions and recommendations for new music. We now realize this name may be a little misleading and are in the process of deciding on and purchasing a new brand and domain name. So currently, we recently brought on a third member to our team, Ben Brody. Ben provides invaluable ideas and long-term goals for us and is a great member of the team. We also recently completed beta testing. This involves selecting a group of individuals who fit our expected demographic, with over 80% of respondents being under the age of 25. Through this testing, we learned a lot about glitches that users ran into, the overall enjoyability of our website, and any changes or recommendations from our users. One thing we heard a lot is that people wanted a more modern, sleeker-looking website. So VRS is currently going through an aesthetic overhaul. Pictured on the left is the homepage of the old website. As you can see, it had a few nagging issues like text being cut off and items being uncentered. On the right is the homepage of the new but unfinished website. As you can see, all of these glitches and any others that people found have been fixed, along with a sleeker, more modern design. So competition. We have one real competitor, and that's RateYourMusic.com. Rate Your Music has been around since 2000 and has a small cult following, but seems to be having trouble gaining new users. There's little information available online about Rate Your Music, but according to Merchant Intellect, they have one employee and have generated just over $66,000 in revenue since 2014. There's really no other direct competitors. So where will the money come from? One word, advertisements. There's two large columns on either side of the content on our website dedicated to ads. We plan on using Google AdSense to host ads on our website as it's easy to use and will put ads on any site, no matter the amount of traffic. It can be difficult to predict ad revenue as where the ad comes from and if it's clicked on or just viewed can have a huge impact on how much money a single ad can bring in. However, we have calculated that at a 2% click-through rate with 6 ads per user, we can generate over $6,000 in revenue per year with just 60 hourly users. We also believe we can far exceed 60 hourly users quickly, and we have set a goal to do so by fall 2021. We plan on bringing new users onto our website through hosting our own ads on Instagram and Facebook. We've calculated that for every $1,000 we spend on these ads, we can bring in over 3,200 new site visitors. So if just 1% of these visitors create accounts and log in regularly, we can exceed 60 hourly users in no time by spending just $2,000 on marketing. So there's truly no reason VRS won't be profitable. Thank you so much, and I'll now be taking any questions you might have.
All right, thank you so much. All right, let's start with our folks on online. Yoram or Simon or Rachel?
I'll start with a simple question. So it sounds like the revenue model is ads. And did I read this correctly? Your entire plan is $6,000 for a whole year in revenue?
Well, to start off with, that's our current goal is to reach that mark by fall 2021. We're yet to launch. We plan on launching in March.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Rachel.
I have a quick question.
Okay, go ahead.
How far along are you? Are you planning on just building this, or do you already have users? And where I'm trying to get to as well is like in terms of your stats for projections, you know, is that based on actuals or is this raw projections?
These are currently raw projections. The site is ready for launch, but like I said, it's currently going through only aesthetic changes. So once those are complete, we'll be ready to launch. We plan to do so in early March.
Okay, and then second follow-up question, but in terms of like relevant experience, you know, what makes you and your team uniquely qualified to tackle this market?
Well, we're all avid music listeners and we love music. And I'm currently studying in the Cox School of Business as a freshman. And Eric Lund has worked as a developer on countless projects. So he has tons of experience coding, and I'm learning as I go, but so far it's been really well.
Cool, thank you.
All right, wonderful. Let's take this. Is there a question from the house? Peter?
Yeah, I was going to suggest you might want to look at some additional revenue sources as well.
Sure.
Sales of albums, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we've discussed merch along the way, but we decided not to do so until we have at least some following on our website.
Right.
But yeah, that's definitely been discussed.
Very good.
And who is your target audience?
People between the ages of 13 and 25, as we plan on advertising only on social media websites, and they're the vast majority of users, as well as listen to the most music in the US.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Any other question? Any other last burning question? Go ahead.
Just a quick question, and I don't want to be assimilated with any judges on Shark Tank, but let me ask you, Apple, Spotify,
Sure.
who would prevent them if your platform took off, just copying it and getting users if they're currently on their platform?
Well, honestly, I don't know if there is a way to do so, but we're currently powered by Spotify, so we don't expect them to take us over as we have an agreement with them. But Apple, I suppose, could, yeah. There's no real way to patent our rating system or anything like that. We've looked into it.
Okay. Thank you, judges.
Thank you.
Thank you, Will. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right. Our next pitcher is Sonia Saeed. She is pitching her company called spotBOX. So,
yes, I got it. Awesome. Well, thank you for inviting me here today to present my pitch. My name is Sonia Said, and I'm here to talk about spotBOX. So 26% of the global population has periods. Yet of that population, 58% are embarrassed by something that's simply a normal human function. Regardless of culture, periods are heavily stigmatized in some form or fashion, including in progressive societies like our own. Menstruating individuals spend on average 7 years or 2,555 days of their life menstruating. But statistically, most don't even know why a period occurs. spotBOX is dedicated to changing the narrative, creating an inclusive dialogue for all diverse backgrounds, and increasing access as a fundamental human right. spotBOX originally began at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic as our team realized the huge disparity in period products for low-income individuals. We originally donated subscription-style period boxes to a local shelter, but we wanted to create a sustainable solution to fight against period poverty and increase access overall. Back in the first round of Big Ideas, we pitched a period subscription service. However, we then began a human-centered design thinking process to truly understand the needs of our communities and our target consumers. Through that process, we realized it wasn't only a lack of period products affecting these communities, but a severe lack of menstrual education, especially for LGBTQ+ individuals. In order to truly fulfill our mission of increasing access for all, we knew we had to pivot to integrate education, credibility, and individualization within the solution we provide. spotBOX is the first comprehensive and ungendered education and product platform for menstrual care. We are committed to educating and raising awareness about menstruation through our personalized web and mobile dashboard. These applications allow users to understand each stage of their period cycle, get advice from experts, and also track their period all in one place. Not only that, users will be able to shop for products curated for their specific period needs through our subscription service. We are the first ungendered one-stop shop for all things period. Like I mentioned, accessibility is of utmost importance to spotBOX's mission. Our revenue model reflects the importance of affordable and accessible period products and menstrual care. Our website and app will be free to use and ad-free in order to expand outreach and increase access overall. We expect most of our revenue to come from our subscription service, which is projected to launch in 2023. Based on our projections, revenue is expected to grow exponentially with the launch of the subscription service. To be the first ungendered period platform may seem ambitious, but spotBOX has the advantage of an incredible team made up of current and former SMU students. Our credibility comes from our reputable research team of pre-medical students who are well on their way to become doctors. Our operations, marketing, and financial team are led by individuals who have experience in the field and can bring that expertise to the table. Every member of the spotBOX team is fueled by passion and experience to yield a highly effective product and user experience. With a working prototype, spotBOX is well on its way to becoming the first ungendered period platform company. With Big IDeas funding, we can cover the web and app development costs in order to launch our website and app this year and finally create an inclusive community for all menstruating individuals. spotBOX envisions a world where menstrual education is at everyone's fingertips and menstrual care is finally treated as the fundamental human right it is. With Big IDeas funding, we can make that a reality. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. How about if we start with in the house? So are there any questions from the judges in-house?
Well, first of all, I say kudos for tackling such an issue that most people in mainstream don't even recognize. You know, one of the photographs we had was bleeding while trans that the young person was holding up, and you know, most of us don't even know that that's a thing. Yeah. And it definitely needs to be accommodated, and so I really like that. My question to you is, why are you waiting until 2023 to launch?
I think based off of our projections, and we really do want to launch our website and app first, just in order to build that credibility among our users, and so they can trust the information that we're putting out there. And so by the time that our subscription box comes around, our users will truly trust the information we're giving them and believe that the products that we have in the box for their period needs. But depending on how kind of the process goes, we would be willing to launch earlier. It just kind of depends on how things play out.
All right, how about from the virtual world? Are there any questions? Rachel, Yoram, or Simon?
Hey, hi, Sonia. Just so that I can clarify from my understanding, your subscription box is your revenue model. And so where is the recurring revenue? Or is this really a, once I educate you, you move on and then we try to get a new person on board? Is there a recurring revenue model?
Yeah, so the subscription box will be offered in a way where people can subscribe to the 12-month box or the 3-month box, but these boxes will be coming to their house every single month. And so, you know, we would hope that they would stay a customer with us throughout the process and really rely on the products to be like their main source of taking care of their periods and kind of getting that self-care that they need. So that's kind of how it would be a recurring revenue model. We do hope to acquire new customers as we go along, but we will allow users the option of getting a 12-month subscription, but also doing a one-time purchase if that's
got it. So your box is feminine products or menstruation products. That's what's in the box?
Yes, it's menstruation products like pads, tampons, but it's also includes self-care items. So this could be anything from tea to a heating pad to chocolate, whatever our customer prefers, and whatever that they think is the best product to kind of alleviate the symptoms that they have during the period.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions from the virtual space? Okay, one more. Okay, Tom. Okay,
So like Eric said, kudos to tackling an issue that requires greater education. I love the services side of the business, that education and that platform. As Dr. Mack was asking, that product side gives me from a continuum basis a little bit of a concern. Sourcing the products, kind of diverse profit margins. There's a lot of competition from more environmentally friendly feminine products. So I'd love to know, digging in on the product side, how far you are and where you see sourcing that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do hope to kind of manufacture some of our own products just so we can make sure that they're organic and they're healthy. We also want to create partnerships with organizations that are currently doing kind of the same thing that we are, right? So align our missions and figure out a way to support each other. And that process is really in the works right now as we look into manufacturing and we look at the products we want, but we really want to give consumers the best options, but also give them variety. And so that's kind of what we're going to do when it comes to the manufacturing process, but also looking at like third-party products to include in the box.
Okay. Yeah, Erica, did you want to ask those questions very quickly?
So I would definitely say that I would, as a value proposition and really to differentiate yourself, especially for non-traditional menstruating individuals, perhaps really honing in on the fact that it's an empowering and private transaction. So someone that may be a non-traditional menstruator doesn't have to go to Walgreens, but they can still feel pride in their transition, whatever, however they are going through this process. So I definitely say privacy and empowerment would probably be two buzzwords that I would suggest incorporating if you have not.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that suggestion. I think our marketing is a big aspect of that. Is with our box, we want to make it discreet and we want to make it simple. So it's not gendered in any way. And so someone who is uncomfortable with their period doesn't have to feel that way while purchasing our products. I think also an important aspect is just giving them the empowerment to be okay with their period. I think that takes a lot of change in society and our values, and hoping to kind of be at the forefront of that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Good. All right. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day. Good afternoon. Okay, Alicia. All right. Our next pitcher will be pitching her company, The Playground. Yes. So, sweaty palms, teeth chattering, that feeling like you're going to throw up. These are symptoms of America's biggest fear: public speaking. 25.3% of Americans say their biggest fear is public speaking. Public speaking is a soft skill, like creativity, and 72% of business leaders say that creativity is the #1 skill they're looking for when hiring. I am Alicia Jukumis, a BFA senior theater major here at SMU, and this is my company, The Playground. It's a soft skills acting program for children ages 8 and older. At The Playground, we teach soft skills like public speaking skills, communication skills, confidence, creativity, and empathy through high-level acting techniques by the top universities for acting, like Yale School of Drama, SMU, NYU, and Juilliard. The Playground is better than the competition because not only are you getting these high-level acting techniques, but it's at an extremely affordable cost for the quality that you're getting. We have a famous and successful network, along with an intense focus on mastering these soft skills. Our total addressable market for our current revenue streams is over $4 billion for just the DFW area. Our current revenue streams are the acting classes that I'm doing currently, along with our one-on-one sessions as well. But in the works, we have the Playground Summer Camp happening this summer, along with our Summer Intensive happening with adults. And we're also going to plan on going to new customer places like corporate and other businesses and workshops and classes, and offering our classes to them as well, and working under an acting agency contract. So currently the team is me, but I'm also backed up by my amazing board of advisors and mentors that range from things from expertise of entrepreneurship, law, accounting, professional actors, theater education people, etc. I'm also looking to hire an administration and marketing person for the summer camp, as well as another teaching artist who will be good at things like that I'm not, like musical theater and dance and stuff like that. The milestones that I've achieved so far since my first initial seed funding money of $1,000 in October 2019 is I've won several other pitch competitions and taken advantage of SMU resources, along with I've now taught over 100 students in the DFW area. I've taught at the Tony Award-winning Dallas Theater Center, and I've collaborated with filmmakers and directors to provide opportunities for my students as well. So although I'm not a corporate entrepreneur, I'm more of a creative entrepreneur, my principal goals are a little bit different. So my goals are viability, sustainability, scalability, and impact. So for example, these are things that I'm already achieving or I'm on the path to achieving. So to date, I've achieved viability by making more than I spend, because right now it's just me and I'm teaching at the incubator classroom space. Along with sustainability, this is something I'm on the path to obtaining. For example, I launched in 2019, I proved my concept and I'm profitable. And scalability, trying to increase the number of students by hiring new teaching artists, along with going into new customer segments. And impact is the most important one to me. So what we do at the Playground is every new student that we get in,
they take a class, or they take a survey that assesses their soft skills. So it'll ask them questions like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you? How likely are you to stick up for yourself? How nervous do you get to be in front of crowds, etc. And so with that, we're able to track their progress. If they're a minor, their parent also fills out a form similar for their student. So that way the parent is able to keep track of the progress as well. Since we've begun, like I said, we've taught over 100 students. 100% of our students have reported feeling more confident after taking our classes. With your help, you can help fund our summer camp and help us market it to more DFW students, and therefore making DFW more confident and more empathetic humans in both their personal and professional lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Let's wait. Do we start here? No, we're going to start with Zoom, folks. So, Yoram or Rachel or Simon, do you want to begin with the first question?
Yes, I'll start. I'm actually a member of the National Speakers Association, and my question is, you're talking about getting your confidence up. So there's Toastmasters, there's NSA, the National Speakers Association, there are other classes. What do you do that's different?
Yeah, so because we have these techniques out of the top universities for acting, right? So this is something I've been studying for over 8 years, and I've been teaching it as well for a long time. And I teach things that are learned in the classroom, right? As actors, right, you have to learn different things like voice work, breath work, and through these skills, you learn how to be confident. Instead of going in and teaching people like, I know that our competition teaches things like power poses and things like that. Instead, we're empowering people to do things like, for example, for that specific customer that wants to enhance their public speaking skills, instead of learning a monologue, we might focus on things like spoken word, right? Things that demand confidence and action to teach, right? Or to present. And so, yeah, we're different because our curriculum is completely different than theirs.
One thing I would just suggest, and this is just a recommendation, I don't think that I saw that in the business plan or your presentation, but improv.
Yeah, so improv is something that we teach, but I also want to, yeah, improv is definitely something that's very important, something that we teach. It's also something that our other competition, the people that are teaching acting, they really focus on improv, which is very important. And it is something that we implement in the class, but we also focus on things like the foundation of good acting and good communication happens through objective, obstacle, and tactic, right? Every time we speak, we have an objective, and focusing on those two things. But yes, I 100% agree with you. Thank you for that.
Can we have time for one more question? Yeah, we can do one more. Okay, thank you so much. One question from this side of the
Yeah, a big challenge in any tuition business, I think, is how you go to scale. Have you given consideration to any other alternative forms of presentation that may enable you to scale faster and quickly?
Yeah, so the big thing, and I'm sure you saw this in the income statement, is the summer camp and summer intensive programs are going to be the moneymaker, really, along with going into these corporate businesses and teaching these workshops to corporate people. Because I know, like, for example, one of my mentors, Jim Hart, he talks about how, like, he has, friends who their business is to go in and sometimes those places will pay up to like $1,000 to $3,000 a day just to teach their staff. And that's something that they're not used to learning. So it's very valuable to them. Thank you for your question.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. We'll talk to you later. All right. Okay. Moving along here. Again, we're going to try to catch up here. Sorry about the late start. Our next is going to pitch her company, Curle. Did you know that 65% of the U.S. population has actually curly hair? Now, when you look at the demographic, you don't see a majority of people with natural hair. And that's because curly hair is a journey, especially for Black women. 80% of women in corporate America do not feel comfortable wearing their hair natural. Finding a dependable natural hair routine can take a lot of time, money, and effort. For me, it wasn't even something I found on the market. It was something I needed for myself. My name is Mona Gandhi, and I'm the founder of Curle, the first ever luxury custom curly hair product company in the industry. At Curle, we're revolutionizing the way natural hair is seen.
a luxury experience like never before and creating a community around natural hair content. Now, to prove our concept, we started in October 2019 when we had our first seed funding. 70% of people interviewed by Mintel are interested in customized hair products. We soft launched in January, and this is some of our validation of our customers. Our current selection is seen here, and each product is customized per person. So if you see Eric and Lilette, you actually see the name on each product. So each product comes with an experience, like never before seen in natural hair. So how does this work? Well, in 2019, when we started, we really wanted to ensure that quality was our utmost priority. So we worked with cosmetic chemists and natural hair experts, as well as data scientists through SMU, to develop a classification algorithm. Now, this algorithm is shown on our website as a questionnaire. So customers come onto our website, fill out a profile, and we understand what they need. Based on that, they get a customized base. Now, these bases are already made for scalability reasons, and they are according to general trends we found in the natural hair market. So on top of that, they get to address three main goals they have. So these three main goals can be shown in the cards that I've shown from both of you, and they can be hair growth as well as many other things. Our business model functions off of a subscription model, so we're able to have a continuous revenue stream, and each product is made to last about a month. Now, to opt out of it, you can also opt out of it, but it allows us to have a consistent revenue stream. Our average sale is about $35, and we have seen much traction since our soft launch in January. Compared to our competition, we are the leader in the industry when it comes to luxury custom curly hair care. There are other products that offer custom hair products, but we are the only ones that ensure quality, community of natural positivity, and a luxury experience with natural hair like never before. Our finances, currently we actually have margins of 95% because the overhead is low. We're actually at 3%, but with your help, we'll be able to go into manufacturing. And that starts with a margin of about 75%. Now, I've given you guys updated financials, and by 2025, we are estimated to make $1.2 million. Now, we've seen a lot more growth than we expected in the first few months. So we estimate that with a little more capital, we can make this even better. I want to take some time to thank my team members as well as SMU Incubator for being a huge part of my success. Natural hair is elegant, beautiful, and luxurious. With your help, we can help people all over the world embrace the natural. With your help, this can be the new business model. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mona. We're going to go ahead and start with questions from the Texander. So is there anyone here that would like to kick off the question? Okay,
Hi,
go ahead. Rachel, you want to go? Rachel, go. Okay, sorry.
Sure. I was just gonna say, in great pitch, we're actually invested in Pressed Roots, so pretty familiar with this market. And so one thing I just wanted to understand is totally understand the need in terms of competition with like Dava Curle, Shea Moisture and brands like that. What's your differentiator there?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So when we were starting the market, we understood that there's a lot of people in the natural hair market. But for you to find the right product that you know works for you, these are all generic consumer products, right? So yes, it might work for my friend, but it doesn't work for me. And so I've worked really hard with cosmetic chemists to make sure that every single one of our products are made for the customer. And each bulk base is based on the trends in the market, And on top of that, you get these curly hair goals that you also get to enhance every single one you buy.
Thank you.
So in reading your business plan and some of your other documents and seeing one of the pictures that you showed, what I appreciate about your definition of diversity in the curly hair market is that you're not just focusing on Black women. To Rachel's point, there are lots of products on the market now for Black women, but there are Indian women, there are Latin American women, there are Pakistani women who all have a different hair texture than Black and white women. So I do appreciate that you are honing in on that. How will your marketing translate to show that you are redefining what diversity looks like in the hair care industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's something I've struggled with as well, because as a Arab American, I see the market really addressing the white people and the Black hair care as well. That gray, the medium in between, in terms of our marketing so far, we've done several campaigns. We've done Love Your Roots campaign, which is a story. We interview people from the community, and they share their story with their natural hair. So they're able to, for example, last week, we actually interviewed someone wearing a scarf. So what we don't think about is when people wear their scarf, they also have natural hair. And so there's a different way to treat that natural hair versus if my hair, for example, it's always seen, not covered. And so in our marketing, we're actually marketing with photography, with social media, and really with influencers that diversify and reframe the way natural hair is being addressed in the industry.
Okay, Camille, how much more time do we have? Get time for one more question. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, so off of what Erica said, as they turn the camera on me, what do you think I know about curly hair? I have an Indian wife who has very curly hair. I have a daughter who's cut Indian and have whatever I have that has very curly hair. So I'm more versed in it than you would think. I know there is a very high-end market for it. What's intriguing is the algorithm concept and personalization. But it also gives me reason for suspicion or cynicism on how you really can truly personalize it. So tell me a little bit more about that model.
Yeah, so the model took us about 2 years to develop, and the way we did it for scalability reasons is we worked with cosmetic chemists to develop bases that work on trends that are already seen in the natural hair industry. So the algorithm is to help work, and like these bases are for the trend. So they're already made to address certain things. On top of that, there are active ingredients that are proven to have worked in other products, as well as our own, for the hair goals that we have for each customer. So it is not completely custom, it's not made everyone individually, but it is it's more of a semi-custom model.
Okay, thank you so much, Mona. Thank you all. Thank you. Okay, you can go ahead and, you want to just pull that away and then we can put it away later?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, wonderful. All right, our next duo, actually, Juan and Ryan, will be pitching to you their business plan called Link Financial. So go ahead and come on up.
So my name is Ryan. My name is Dewan. I'm a freshman and I'm a sophomore here at SMU. So this is the startup, just to get Link Financial. Presentation highlights what we're going to go over during this presentation. So we came up with a problem. It's like consumers and financial advisors. For consumers, there's a big problem. Like for people like you and me, it's hard to find financial advisors you trust, especially for our generation. They don't really know where to go. You ask a kid my age, they're going to give you, go to a bank. Go to a bank. That's probably the answer you're going to get. But I think there's an easier way to do this. And it's hard to trust someone that you just right. You walk in the bank, you sit down with them. You just met them. I don't know you that well, and you don't know me. Are you going to do good with the money? Am I getting a fair rate? I don't really know.
And then also too, there's a large wave of retail investors that are coming into the market. Retail investors are known to be very unprofitable. Also too, on top of that, for advisors to connect with these clients, they have to comply to lots of legal implications. So the biggest one is the DOL fiduciary rule. And it makes it really hard for the new RAs and CFAs to communicate with clients. And the fiduciary rule really outlines that you have to act in the best interest of your client every time you make a decision. Well, if the client has to repeatedly come to your office and you have to get on the phone call with the client, this increases the amount of time that you are able to purchase securities from your client.
So another thing is that there's a stigma that only the 1% are allowed to have financial advisors. That's not true. Everyone can have a financial advisor. So there's no reason why other people can't go to someone else to get their money managed, up their wealth. And we can see that because 75% of people, they don't have financial advisors, right? And it's crazy. Why are 75% of people not having financial advisors? Only, 25% of people in the world or in the United States are actually getting their money managed. The other thing is the communication barrier. That's huge. When you want to talk to your financial advisor, how do you guys do it? You guys maybe call them. You guys have to go online. You can check it, right? And then maybe they'll have something online, where you can look it up. They'll give you a call. You'll get something in the mail, maybe, and then you can see your return, etc. And then, so that's just kind of for the consumer side. But also for the financial advisor, there's huge costly overhead. I mean, well, we've looked at it. Do you want to look at it?
Yeah, so we looked at a lot of the costs. So 20% of advisors that leave their industry, they leave simply because this is an industry dominated by sales. Even if you work at JP Morgan Chase, even if you work at Morgan Stanley, you're responsible for your own sales as a financial advisor. The only part of the divisions at these banks that don't have to work on their own sales is the buy side. So if you're M&A, if you are in capital markets, but for financial advisors, you are essentially your own sole proprietor. And we want to link sole proprietorship with clients on a platform that we can accentuate all of the marketing tactics and all the marketing solutions that are needed.
Our solution is a platform we use to combine financial advisors that will grow their money and platform our financial advisors to find clients as well as a one-stop shop to eliminate their cost overhead. Like Dolan was talking about, there's a lot of cost overhead involved, and we think we can minimize that, as well as bringing people who never thought they'd have a financial advisor to them. So overall, our mission is we want to link everyone to a financial advisor, and we really want to shrink the wealth gap. We want to bring people that don't have enough money, they do have enough money, but they just don't know how to manage it. Because a lot of people manage it themselves, and they think, and there's 75% of people who manage it themselves, but 77% of people don't beat the market and are retail traders.
And on top of that, in a low interest rate environment that we have right now, consumption is key, right? But if you are considered to be smart money in a time where a lot of consumers are consuming, it's best to enter into savings from just a raw macroeconomic perspective. So this will be an app, given until the Fed starts to increase interest rates, tighten the financial world, this will be an app that can allow a lot of consumers to take advantage of this financial environment.
Market validation, like I said, 77.76% of all retail accounts are profitable. So retail accounts, people that don't really know what they're doing, and they're trading whether a financial advisor. 31% of banking customers already use fintech app, and then 45% of millennials want financial products and services to assist their financial circumstances. But 37% said they cannot provide resources online to educate them on financial.
And to go into the retail accounts being unprofitable, I currently operate a non-fiduciary financial education service where I treat trading schematics based on price action, fundamental analysis. So I teach people how to manage on retail accounts. Of course, non-fiduciary, but what I've come to notice is that there are so many variables that can affect pricing in the market. And to take someone who is not, of course, an econ major like myself or a business major like Ryan, and has no kind of educational background. Let's say somebody that already has a job. The time that it needs to take to manage your retail account, it's just not feasible.
And then here we see
you're gonna go on to questions now.
Oh, questions already? Oh, okay.
So big markets are great, we're biting off a lot. I would suggest that perhaps any background you can do on refining your thoughts on the solution you're going to be offering and digging in a little more on the segments that you want to target would be worthwhile. What you're doing is taking a big chunk out of the very big market, and I'd suggest that maybe you want to refine them further to find places.
Sure. And honestly, right now, that's what we're working on. We're trying to bridge SRO to become a broker dealer, find someone who responds to that. We can really move forward with that refining process once we get a whole lot more, legal sight on everything. So, yeah.
How about from the Zoom world? There are some questions? Go ahead, Simon.
I'm not sure if I might have missed this, but how will you go about qualifying the advisors that you will let onto your platform? You're just going to sort of let everybody come on, or is there some sort of screening process to make sure you have quality control?
So there will definitely be a screening process. We will not let anyone that does not have the proper FINRA or SRO qualifications. So our main target base for our advisors are going to be existing RIAs that have left either their banking world or searching an independent broker dealer. Because for the advisors, our solution will be the marketing platform, but intrinsically we will offer broker dealer services. So we will make sure and ensure, especially through our softwares, that there's not going to be anyone that's uncertified, unqualified to do their job.
Okay, we have a question. Alexander, go ahead, Tom.
That's right. Again, it's a borderline statement and question, building off what Peter said as well. With the advent of all of the apps that are out there, obviously we're familiar with Robinhood. I think you've got to narrow your focus. So my thought when I hear your pitch is getting into that financial IR world where there's fees associated with it and you're looking to try and close the wealth gap. That doesn't jive to me necessarily. If I look at education, it's not out there. So have you thought about partnering with an Intuit or some other components where you're providing education and there's a sourcing of revenue there as opposed to going into the IRA market?
So on my personal side, I offer that right now. Offer gumbocapital.com, offer where I educate retail traders. Now, when you said narrowing down, what we wanted to come to is we want to specialize in each pathway that we take. So I call this asymmetrical risk. Yes, we offer advisor solutions. We offer a platform where customers can come and pair with their clients can pair with their advisors. But also too, we will also offer trading platforms that retail traders can come on. So these will be two separate apps, but they encompass the entire community of retail traders and people looking for advisors.
We will have education on there. So we're going to have news feeds from financial advisors, and they're going to be able to publish videos of them talking about what's happening with the market, as well as news articles, either repost articles or they can write articles themselves. So yes, people can go on the app just simply to get financial advice, even if they don't have enough money to invest.
Neil, do we have time for one more question? Okay, one more question. Does somebody from Zoom want to take it? Okay.
Just a quick comment, in the financial advising industry, that's very highly regulated. And I believe how you advertise and market, that's also regulated as well. And so have you looked at how your platform will be regulated?
Yes, entirely. So compliance risk, and of course we would love to get into that because of time constraints, but compliance risk is one of our biggest focuses. We want to make sure that we are not only just simply complying to the legal provisions that we have applied to, but taking a step further. So right now, we are in the process of trying to register as SRO. It's someone who is Series 24 qualified to run that. And also to teaming up with strategic partners and securities law that can really help us and guide us in the direction that there are no compliance risks whatsoever. Because that is the last thing we want to deal with in an industry like this.
All right. Okay, so the next is Andrew, and their company is Pitchin, and after this, we'll take a quick break.
Well, hello, Big Ideas panel.
My name is Sarah Coe.
And my name is Andrew Melland, and we are the founders of Pitchin, an online platform that connects volunteers and nonprofit organizations. Our mission is to make volunteerism more accessible and inventive and impactful. We believe that pitching in should be at the touch of a button. Pitchin is a nonprofit organization that aims to streamline the connection of volunteers to organizations, serve as a platform for virtual volunteering, and enable schools and organizations to track hours through an all-in-one, user-friendly application. By facilitating connections between passionate volunteers and organizations, our goal is to drive positive world change.
Our inspiration for Pitchin arose when I was searching for a volunteer position where I could incorporate both my Spanish-speaking skill and my interest in patient care. It was difficult to finally find a hospice that needed my help as a bilingual companion, get a hold of volunteer coordinators, and find the required paperwork to volunteer. I also discovered the need for volunteers who can remotely connect with patients and provide emotional support. After my experience, I wanted to make it easier for people like me to pitch in. Especially with the pandemic, we believe that virtual volunteering is an emerging and growing need. Virtual volunteering connects volunteers of various backgrounds and cultures by overcoming geographic barriers and time constraints. Virtual volunteering also allows for micro-volunteering. Using a touch of a button on your phone, you can micro-volunteer by doing simple projects in small increments of time. While waiting for the bus or for a doctor's appointment, you can be volunteering. Virtual volunteering is a new era of volunteering, and Pitch-In will be at the forefront of harnessing this potential. Adding rewards and recognition fosters a sense of accomplishment and increases volunteer retention. Pitch-In will incorporate a rewards program by partnering with organizations to incentivize volunteers. Lastly, there is no existing platform that offers volunteer opportunities and simple time tracking in one comprehensive application.
The corporate volunteering platform market was valued at $691 million in 2019 and is projected to reach $1.3 trillion by 2027. 2/3 of volunteers found their volunteer opportunities online in 2014, a twofold increase from just 8 years prior. And the volunteering platform market is expected to grow at a CAGR of 9.3% from 2020 to 2027. Volunteers under the age of 24 account for 23% of all volunteers. So our initial focus will be on the acquisition of schools and other student organizations. Some examples of target groups that would require our paid services include honor societies such as the National Honor Society, fraternities and sororities, athletic departments, and university programs. Pitch-In has a service subscription revenue model that will generate recurring revenue through its school and organization membership plan. Pricing is based on the amount of active volunteers. Schools or organizations that want to track service hours will pay a yearly subscription fee of $200 per 100 users to gain access.
We plan to be the first into the marketplace with an application that provides built-in video software. Pitch-In will be the first to incorporate a rewards program for volunteers, a platform for virtual and in-person volunteering, and community service tracking software all in one platform. These are some of our platform's top features. Pitch-In will provide access to a community of both local and global organizations and volunteers. Users will have the opportunity to have opportunities specific to their skill sets and unique passions. Through skill-based volunteering, organizations can leverage the diverse skills and talents of individuals. By providing in-app video conferencing software, we can eliminate any security concerns and provide a safe tool for virtual volunteering. Our rewards program celebrates volunteer efforts and brings well-earned recognition to our volunteers. Our logging tool motivates volunteers with components such as progress bars and milestones. Our tool enables students to log hours in the cloud when they have no service and check in and out of their positions automatically. Our application will also be intuitive, so students will not have to be trained to use the software in schools. Lastly, administrators will have instant access to tamper-proof reports of service hours, customizable notifications, and advanced verification tools such as GPS pins. Administrators will also be able to add requirements and due dates as well as incentive programs.
If we were to win the $5,000 grant, we would allocate $3,504 to host our website on the Microsoft Azure cloud for 24 months. $450 will go towards our 501c and incorporation fee. $800 for 20 hours of work by a freelance programmer to help get components done on the website, and $150 for printed marketing materials. And lastly, $100 for a webcam and microphone for video conferencing. Our management team is competent in full stack web development, understands our target audience and market potential, and is determined to fill Pitch-In's vision. I'm a junior studying computer science and mathematics, and I'm the lead full stack developer for the Pitch-In team. Through earning my Eagle Scout rank, I learned the importance of giving back to my community and have been the recipient of the Presidential Service Award several times. I have 4 years of experience in software development and previously worked in the industry as a software consultant.
I'm a junior majoring in biology and Spanish with a minor in chemistry, and I will be leading the logistical aspects of our team. I have experience volunteering in various sectors of volunteer work, including Texas Health Hospital's SERVE program, UNT's Elm Fork Education Center, and Embrace Hospice. Andrew and I both deeply understand the value of volunteerism and want to empower others to pitch in. Thank you for your time.
Oh, go ahead and close it up.
Thank you for your time and consideration, and we hope you see the impact that Pitch-In could have in strengthening our communities.
Thank you guys. We're going to have a little bit shorter of it was kind of hard to cut you guys off online by text. So we're going to have a little bit shorter of a question, a Q&A, okay? So we'll take 2 questions. All right, we're going to start in the Texana room with Peter. Thank you, Sarah. Can you guys hear okay, Peter?
I love your focus, great mission. And also like the customer group that you're targeting or can target is corporates. So any chance you have to simplify life for big corporations that have volunteer programs, they need to keep track of that and measure it and reward people for it. That's a great opportunity for an app with data behind it and providing further value to those corporates. So well done.
Thank you.
Andrew, did you hear that?
That was kind of hard to understand.
Okay, so very positive feedback.
Okay.
That you are actually linking into the corporate opportunity and providing the metrics so there can actually be a reward structure and a motivation through the corporate entity. So very positive. Sorry, Peter, did I capture it? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so how about, is it all right, guys? I'm going to take one question on the Zoom side, please. If you have one.
How's your competition? There are companies like Volley and others. How do you compare?
Well, our online platform is going to have what most of our competitors have, except all combined, and is going to include the ability to actually volunteer from your phone, which appeals to kids a lot these days, being able to like quickly get their service hours or fulfillments done when they're, say, commuting or something like that. And that's not on the market as of now.
And Rachel, you came on. Do you have a burning question? You're unmuted. Rachel, you're muted.
Sorry, all I was saying is that answered my question. So
Okay, terrific.
I'm good now.
Any last burning question? Okay, thank you very much, Sarah and Andrew. We're going to have about 7 more pitches, and then they'll be deliberating, and then we'll be getting back with information about the winners later this afternoon. Okay? We're going to begin our second half with Sean, who is pitching his company, College Plus.
Good afternoon. I'm Sean Subaru, and I'm here to present College Plus. So I'm currently operating as the College Plus' CEO. I'm a student at Southern Methodist University. I study computer science and I minor in statistical science. I also operate as the data scientist and software architect of Carnegie Tech. As the CEO, I oversee all operations, whether that be marketing, whether that be financials, and I'm also the sole developer of the mobile app and the web app as well. So where did College Plus start? So College Plus started at an internship at Google, where we were placed into teams and tasked to create a product that we felt like would benefit society. And we noticed that there was a common problem amongst the students that were also there interning with us, and it was the college admissions process. And we decided to make our product based on that. And here's the team: Lauren, Megan, Boza, myself, Logan Sage, and here are a few other team members that I added here at Southern Methodist University. Our mission statement: giving students control of their futures. We feel like College Plus as a resource is most valuable in the fact that it gives students the knowledge, resources available to make the proper decisions for their futures in terms of their education. For high schoolers, by high schoolers, another very powerful feature of College Plus is that it was made by the demographic that we're trying to appeal to. We were 3 months removed from high school at the point where we created this app, so we were the troubles we went through were very fresh in our minds, and we knew how to solve this issue. Some of these issues is that the admissions process is very confusing, it's super impersonal, students are often unaware of the resources that are available to them, and to even enunciate this even further, 40% of college undergraduates drop out, and 30% drop out before their sophomore year. And we feel like this is a symptom of imposter syndrome, being somewhere you don't really belong because you didn't do the proper research to go somewhere that you fit. And we feel like we can remedy that solution with our app, our web app. We present resources, we provide resources, plenty of them, features to alleviate these issues that they face in their college admissions process. here are a few of the features right here. Our headlining feature, the college picker, college recommendation system based on preferences. Same thing with majors based on your strengths. We present majors to you that will best suit your strengths. We even have features like a social network to find a potential roommate at the college that you find or you choose on our application. Other resources, we have resume builders, we have studying tips, we have important dates for like SAT testing dates, ACT testing dates, things of that nature. There's plenty of resources for the student to use. And this brings us to our competition. Who else in this space are doing something similar to us? Well, the biggest competition we have is College Board. They take up the majority of the market share. They're a huge company, but they also have a very negative stigma attached to them because they administer the AP test. So most students like to stay away from College Board as much as they can. Our most direct competition is Niche. Niche, they provide a whole lot of data on individual colleges, but the beauty of them doing that is the fact that even as our competition, we still utilize them in our app. So it's not like they're taking away from us, we benefit from them. Our advantage, we have no negative reputation. Like I said, College Board has a huge negative reputation. In fact, we'll probably have a positive reputation when we hit the market hard. We're very personal, we're user-friendly. It's very simple to go from resource to resource. We're super versatile, plenty of resources on our page, plenty of features on our page to alleviate the admissions process. So what have we done so far? College Plus has accumulated over 500 downloads on the App Store, has 30 plus downloads in the Google Play Store. The web application gets 100 plus views per month. We have a registered trademark, and we also have a registered domain, both owned by myself. The financial model, I know what you're thinking, what's the profitability, how's it gonna make money? Well, great news, we anticipate that we'll make over $20,000 of profit per year after the year 2023, and that's based on a revenue stream from different revenue sources. And where do we get revenue from? It's from our different products. There's a paid version for the students to use that contains all the important features, it gets all the feature drops. There's the free version, which is a very stripped down version of the paid version, has the 3 legacy features. There's the enterprise edition, where we port our software to large entities and they buy big batches of basically the free version of the app at a cheaper cost. The large entities is this, we assume will be like high schools, things of that nature. Data and ranking, we feel like we will accumulate plenty of data, plenty of aggregate data, entrance hot maps. We can create things. We can create big graphs, things that they would want, rankings and things of that nature. And our end goal as a business, there's 2 different options. One of the options is that we remain our own company, whether private or public, based on how fast we grow. The second option is that we get bought out by a larger company who sees interest in our product and allows us to oversee the operations of the company within their company. Such examples of these companies would be Google, Microsoft, Niche, College Board, etc.
We're gonna have to stop, so leave it right here. Don't move, we'll have to stop. And it's time for questions. So leave them there because maybe some questions will come for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's start. Thank you, Sean, good pitch. All right, do you want to start in the Texana room first?
Sure.
Tom.
I like the enterprise model, and on the competitor analysis, I know that there are platforms like Naviance and other platforms. So are you familiar with Naviance?
Yes.
Can you tell me why you didn't consider Naviance a competitor?
I kind of group them into the category of them being very impersonal. Like, these companies are kind of like they provide a product, but that's all they do. They don't really care about the user's experience, like them getting to their end goal. We're different in the fact that every feature we have is very clear that it's for the benefit of the student. Every feature we have, everything that you see on the web, on the platform, it's like we know what you're going through. These are the things that help us get through it, that we believe will also get you through it. But with Naviance, it's like we provide a service. Hopefully you get through it yourself, but this is all we provide, and we're kind of hands off. So we feel like we could be a multimedia company in the fact that we could provide all the resources, actual student experiences, things like that, and that's what differentiates us from our competition.
Okay, let's take a question from Zoom world. Yoram or Simon?
Yes, I have a question. You mentioned that you already have customers and that you already have downloads. How many of them are paid? How many of them have paid for a higher than free membership?
Well, that's the thing. Since I'm the only developer here, I haven't gotten to the point where, even though the app is out there, the current free version of the app right now would be the paid version once I get it to that point. But right now, since I just want to build a user platform, it's currently free. The whole feature set is all free. But soon, very soon in the future, I could just create a free version and just do that there.
So I'm going to follow up with, if you haven't collected any revenue, do you have at least data on how long and how often do the current people who downloaded the app are using it?
That's a great question. We have accumulated a little bit of revenue from advertising because there are advertisements on the platform. And yes, we do have data on how long they stay on the app. It's about, I could give like data, I can shorten it to say it's about 10 minutes on a three-day basis per week. But basically, we have high user retention. We have high cost of ads, like our ads are worth a lot on our platform as well. So we see revenue not being an issue for us.
Okay, thank you so much, Sean. Okay.
Okay. So very quickly, I wanted to say that first of all, I like the fact that your differentiators really include you making it a social experience, which this generation really craves in any app or product that they use. And I honestly think that between your enterprise model, the opportunity to have universities and other college support resources to have paid advertisement and access, as well as the opportunity to sell your data, I really think you underestimated your profitability. And so if we, as you move forward, I definitely think that that's something you should explore so that you can really brag on those potentials.
Okay, thank you so much, Erica. All right, Sean, thank you so much. We're going to move on to the next picture, but we'll be back to you all this afternoon. Okay, thank you. All right, Manov is our next with ANIM. ANIM is the next company. Manov, you have 5 minutes, and then some questions after.
Hi everyone, my name is Manov Jain. Thank you for joining me today. I'll be sharing more information about my big idea, ANIM. So I wanted to start by asking you a question. Have you ever gone to a store with the intention of making a purchase that was healthy, sustainable, and ethical, and ended up paying more money for a product because it was marketed as such, only to later realize that you've been lied to, and that product has been falsely advertised? All across the country, millions of Americans are growing more concerned about what's in their products and how they're being sourced. But while they're shopping, there's no easy way for them to verify if a product truly is healthy, sustainable, and ethical. Well, we have a solution for that. Okay, so what is ANIM? ANIM is a mobile application that will give users access to our database full of food products with a simple search or scan. Once they've searched or scanned for a product, they'll receive a health and sustainability rating based on the active ingredients and any other information that we have on the product. We'll also share reviews and ratings left by other users so that they can really make the best informed decision when they're shopping. In addition to this, we'll give them alternative products in their local area that have higher ratings and are better price points. So how would it work? Imagine you're at a store and you see a product that you're interested in buying. You can simply scan the barcode on the item, after which we'll give you a health score and a sustainability score, along with some of the reasons that are contributing to those scores. After that, you'll be able to see our recommendations for other options in your local area. These options will have higher scores and will often be priced lower so that you can make the best shopping decision. Let me tell you about our business model. Our mobile application for users will be primarily free. Most of our features will be accessed at no cost, simply in exchange for viewing advertisements. We'll also have a premium subscription service, which will give users access to special deals and discounts, along with some of the pricing features that I mentioned before. For producers and distributors, will be a marketing space. We'll promote products to users that we know are interested in buying that are healthy, sustainable, and ethical in exchange for deals and discounts. As a company, we have a simple mission. We want to empower users to make the best shopping decisions, not only for themselves, but also for the planet. So, our 12-month plan. Over the next 12 months, we have a few simple goals. We want to finish developing our beta, which we're making really great progress on. And after we've done this, we want to release it to people and get a lot of field testing in. We want to fix all the bugs, we want to get feedback from users, and we want to keep improving our application until it's ready to be put on the market. Then after that, we hope to put it on the market, publicize it, promote it, and hope that at the end of the 12 months, we have 1,000 active users who are in love with our product. So far, we've already completed a working prototype. We filled the database with over 700,000 foods for completely free. And we've taught ourselves how to use Xcode and Swift, which are used to make mobile applications on iOS. Some of the things that we have to do are improve our health and sustainability algorithms, keep increasing the database, put more data in it, and implement some of the price features that I mentioned before. So, my funding request. It's going to take $100 to put the app on the App Store. It's going to cost us $960 to run servers for 12 months at a high user data usage. We want money to access databases and APIs, and we're going to need money for somebody to help us design UI. Here, I have a video which shows our prototype, but I've also shared the video so I can show it out here. So this is a video of the prototype. It doesn't have all the features we've mentioned, but we created this in just a few months, having no experience with any iOS development, and we're really impressed with how it turned out. We're working on the beta currently, and it's already implementing more features, and hopefully I'll be sharing that with you soon. So as you can see, you can log in and create a profile. You can scan an item live. So here's some pasta that I had at home. You simply scan the barcode. After that, you'll receive a health score along with some other information, and you can also search for items. And leave reviews and ratings. Thank you for listening.
Go ahead. Well, thank you very much. All right. Did a nice job wrapping that up. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's take questions. Go ahead, Peter, you kick off the questions in the next hour.
So I love that it's a big idea. Lots of activity, lots of competitors, lots of different groups doing different things in this space. It butts up against health, it butts up against people who are concerned about sustainability and healthy living. So great choice of a place to go.
Thank you. Very much.
All right, let's take someone from the Zoom, please.
So quick question, how do you get all the data about sustainability, health, allergens, and so on?
Yeah, absolutely. So currently we're using an API called MO, and it essentially gives us access to all of the nutritional information that you see on the back of like labels and whatnot when you are shopping for products. We have an algorithm which then evaluates those ingredients. So there might be certain ingredients which contribute to being more or less sustainable, along with ingredients that do or don't make it, have certain allergen restrictions and whatnot. And over time, we hope to also take in information about the brand that it's being sourced from. If we know their practices, then we can say, hey, we know that this company is following these practices, and therefore it meets our criteria of sustainability and ethicality. And another feature that we have planned is to allow users to take a picture of an item, after which we'll look at those photos and evaluate the packaging. Is there too much packaging? Is the packaging non-renewable? Is it sustainable practice or not? Things such as that.
Okay, we probably have some time for another question from either Zoom or Texana room.
I think it's a think it's a very valuable resource that I don't know of being on the market for a, you know, on-demand in-shopping experience type of resource. So.
Thank you.
Okay. Any follow-up on Zoom? Okay, all right, well, thank you very much. We're going to move on to the next picture, but when we complete at the end of the day, then they would debrief, and then we'll be announcing the winners.
Great. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you. All right, so our next is Lizzie. Lizzie is going to be pitching her company called Sorority Central.
Hello, my name is Lizzie Hanna, and my business is Sorority Central. I'm a senior at SMU, and one of my favorite experiences has been being in my sorority. However, joining a sorority itself can be a daunting process. I'm so sorry. We'll give you a second more for that. Okay. So during Rush, the right first impression is everything. And one way that high school seniors can make a good first impression is by sending in a recommendation letter prior to Rush even beginning. Sorority Central can make this process very simple. So from Sorority Central, a customer can purchase recommendation packets. These packets contain everything that a recommender needs in order to write a letter of recommendation. They give these packets to the recommender, who then writes the letter of recommendation and sends the contents of the packet and the letter to the sorority where the customer is going to rush. These packets are really important because the recommender and the customer may not know each other personally. It might be a friend of a friend of a friend, or someone in an alumni association. So I have 2 samples today. I apologize I didn't bring more. I don't know, am I allowed to give samples? Great, wonderful. So you might be wondering what's inside these packets. They include a social resume, which is different than a normal resume, a cover letter, thank you note, pictures, as well as a pre-addressed envelope and instructions for submitting the recommendation to the school. Here's some other resumes that I've created for my clients over the past 2 months. So you might be thinking, that's a really cool side business you're doing, but what makes it a big idea? Well, when I did my research, I realized that there's only one competitor that is currently doing this nationwide. Only one person has a website you can purchase these from. Every other competitor in the market is doing it locally like myself, just doing it out of their homes to people in their community. So I believe that Sorority Central can overtake this competitor within the next 2 years for the following reasons. The first reason is that we will have a lower overhead, which contributes to a lower price. SororityPackets.com, which is our main competitor, has a full-time designer on hand for work that is mostly seasonal. I would try and contract out as much of this work as I can, and also outsource things like proofreading and formatting to keep my overhead low. We also have a more cohesive brand identity. I've already purchased the domain name Sorority Central and have acquired the usernames on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook for Sorority Central. SororityPackets.com also goes by Sorority Scoop, and the messaging can be a little unclear. We also offer one-on-one consultations. I found that my customers really appreciate me sharing my expertise with one-on-one where they can ask any questions that they have. This is something my competitor also does not offer. And the most important thing is these detailed instructions on how to submit recommendation letters to each campus. This saves my customers a lot of time doing the research themselves. So again, just to summarize, we offer above and beyond service through these one-on-one consultations, in-depth insider information with these specific instruction sheets, and also more competitive pricing. This is a one-time purchase for nearly all of my customers, so they're going to go to where they can find the most value for the lowest price. Here's where I hope to be in the next 5 years. So by the end of this year, which is year 0, I hope to achieve 100 clients, which would be an annual revenue of $19,500. By year 3, if I could achieve 3% of the market, that would bring me to almost $1 million in annual revenue. Year 4, 6%, year 5, at 10% of the market, we could achieve $3.3 million in annual revenue. And here's how we're going to get there. I have 3 ways I'm going to be doing my marketing. First is through social media. We have 2 different types of customers. We have high school seniors, or Gen Z, who connect through Instagram and TikTok, and their mothers who connect through Facebook and traditional websites. So that's how we would approach those. We also would connect with local Panacea alumni associations. These usually one in each city, and they host seminars for high school seniors who are interested in Greek life. We could go into these seminars, talk about recommendation packets, and encourage this and build up a larger customer base through these seminars. And finally, word of mouth. This is a very strong part of the industry because sororities are all about networking. And one person buys my packets and joins a sorority, then you can bet they're going to tell all their friends who are interested in Rush where they got them. And finally, the overall impact. Not only does Sorority Central make the recommendation process smoother and less stressful for parents and their children, but we also are fighting barriers to entering the Greek community. Traditionally, Greek life has been reserved for people who are wealthy enough to afford it. And by lowering the price of these recommendation packets, more people will be able to afford them and have the same advantages that other people have had in the past, therefore making Greek life a more equitable place. That is all I have, and now I'm open for questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lizzie. All right, let's start on Zoom. Any questions, Yarm and Simon?
So, yeah, just a real, very generic question. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is low, 10 is high, how bad is this problem?
So this problem, I would say, is around a 7, because a lot of women that are going from high school into Greek life, especially nowadays, might not know anybody who's been in Greek life. There are more and more women who are rushing whose parents have never been in Greek life, and so this process, they come to me and they say, oh my gosh, I need help, what do I do? And so this problem, even though a lot of stories are no longer requiring recommendation letters, I find that parents want to do what's best for their children, and if that means giving them a leg up on the competition by purchasing these packets, they're willing to go to exorbitant costs. And so I feel like right now, SororityPackets.com and other competitors are just charging way too much for these products. An average customer on SororityPackets.com would spend at least $195 for the lowest package, and for the highest package, $550. I feel like that is way too high, and that's why I want to come to the market with a lower price to be able to meet these customers' demands.
Thank you.
Come on, Simon, we both have kids in college. You know how much we spend on stuff for them.
Right, exactly. Erica had a question, and Yarm will come back and see if you want to.
Yes, so as a sorority member myself, Alpha Kappa Alpha, around since 1908, I can definitely understand the barriers that people, if they're not legacy, often face in finding a recommendation. I did notice that one of the things you said in your common traits was that more women of color are now beginning to take interest in Greek life. I would definitely do a little more research, because there are millions and millions of us across sororities that have been around for over 100 years here in America, including my sorority sister, Vice President Kamala Harris. But what I would say is that if you choose to be more diverse in your approach, that you can really approach the idea that there are lots of girls who don't have access to legacy or things like that, that need the opportunity. So when you're looking for recommenders who are often very, I won't say exclusionary, but it can, like you said, it opens up the floodgates for more people to have this opportunity based on the merit of their accomplishments and character, versus just on their financial or network status.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, kind of that first generation.
Yeah, and to address that comment specifically, and I know the Divine Nine sororities and other multicultural sororities have been around for such a long time, and my comment in the business plan is more specific to Panhellenic umbrella sororities, which is where my expertise is. However, I would like to do more research into the recruiting processes of those other sororities underneath different umbrellas, because those are things that I'm just currently not aware of, and if this is a product that could also serve them, I would love to meet that need.
Thank you, Lizzie. Great. Okay, our next pitcher is Raleigh, and Raleigh is going to be pitching a company called Sister Shaq.
Sister Shaq Sweet Tea, yes.
Sister Shaq Sweet Tea.
Well, good morning, judges. My name is Raleigh Dewan, and I'm the founder of Sister Shaq Sweet Tea. We're a socially conscious company that's changing lives one cup of our confession-worthy tea at a time. So a little bit about the tea industry. It's the second largest growing beverage market behind water, but it has 3 big problems. The first, unethical labor. All of the RTD, ready-to-drink bottled tea in America is imported from foreign plantations with unethical labor practices. Second, poor quality. This RTD tea uses low-quality tea called fannings in the tea industry that doesn't have any of the health benefits. And third, high sugar. These RTD teas are packed with absolutely mind-boggling amounts of sugar. More than 90% of them have 90% or more of the recommended daily sugar intake for US adults. So what if there was a company that could solve these problems, that had ethical and sustainable sourcing, that had high quality tea and absolutely zero sugar? That is what we have done with Sister Shaq Sweet Tea. We are the only tea company using 100% ethical and sustainable grown American tea. We always use full leaf, artisanal grade tea. And with our trademark Sacrilegious sweetener, it's 100% organic, 100% all natural, 0 calorie, and importantly, 0 glycemic. So it's diabetic and keto approved. And most importantly, we donate a portion of the proceeds from each bottle to fight human trafficking with our local partner charities. And as you can see, we're certified organic and we qualify for the GO Texan mark of approval. Our full RTD line has 4 confession-worthy flavors. Our unsweet tea is Old Testament. It's strong and features the promised land and back. Our sacrilegiously sweet tea is Devil's Brew. And our fruit of the spirit lines, this is our Messianic mango and pious peach flavor. So like I said, the tea industry is absolutely massive. It hit $13 billion just last year. $8 billion of that was for the RTD industry, and $5 billion of that was for the loose leaf and bagged. It's seen consistent growth since actually 2013, and is poised for even more as Gen Z is the first generation to consume more tea than coffee. 89% of millennials drink tea, and with our sacrilegious sweetener, we can improve to the absolutely gigantic demographic of Americans that suffer from diabetes and pre-diabetes, over 110 million combined. This is our target market. We have 3 segments. First, college students, Gen Z with their focus on socially conscious companies. Second, specialty tea lovers who will love our unique and artisanal sourcing. And third, like I said, with diabetics, with our sacrilegious sweetener, we're able to appeal to them so they can uniquely consume our refreshing beverages. In terms of traction, we already have a deal with Southern Methodist University to have our bottles in their on their on-campus marketplaces as long as they're concessions for athletic events. Also having our bagged and food service tea in their dining halls. And we are going to have this as a test run function. So if we do well at SMU, our mark will allow us to expand to their different locations across the nation. We've also partnered with the Culture Cup and Top Tea Shop 2019 to have our product in our online store and visit the stores. Our direct competitors here in the tea industry, and the indirect competitors, that's more of the healthy beverage, so kombuchas and enhanced waters with Biome and Perfect. In terms of our advantage, I've talked a lot about how we're heavily differentiated from the rest of the tea company. But I also want to mention our advisors. I'm a Coca-Cola scholar, so we have advisors with the Coke Company, the president of Sweet Leaf Tea, and members on the National Tea Association, which provides us with amazing information, data, and connections. Our revenue model has 3 parts. Our wholesale accounts, which are primarily supermarkets and colleges, e-commerce, online stores, and community development. So those are food, tea, coffee shops, things like Foxtrot Market around these wholesale accounts. In terms of our roadmap, it's in 4 parts. First, our SMU launch this June. Second, our Texas college expansion by the end of this year. Third, our full Texas distribution by the end of next year. And fourth, our national growth by the end of 2023. As you can see, our financial projections, they continue to increase as we have more expansion. And I will note that as we get our volume up, we will benefit from volumes and economies of scale in our production, in our sourcing, and in our logistics. Well, judges, I hope you're able to make Sister Shaq's a habit. And then you can see that we're a socially conscious tea company that is changing the world and helping tea drinkers feel good with our confession-worthy and healthy beverages that not only taste good, they do good in consumers, communities, and across the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. I know you get to go first.
Where are the samples?
That's a question.
Where are the samples?
Yeah, they wanted the samples.
I'm working on that. I'm going to our bottler in Waco next week.
Okay, all right. Well, then you know what? I'm going to be sending a little package to these folks, and so you're going to be putting some SPT in it, right?
Perfect.
I feel like you should. I mean, you just opened a Roots chicken place. I mean, seems to me like.
Yeah, so I don't.
Sacrilegious or
Sacrilegious.
Sacrilegious.
So
It could be like side by side.
I love the branding. I love, the making it happen. Very interestingly done that way. You offer sweet tea at Roots Chicken Shack, but I'm interested in, if it tastes good, we can offer the product at Roots Chicken Shack. So I don't have a question, but if you pass our taste test with our chef, you're in.
Awesome, let's hear it.
All right. So how about on Zoom? Any questions?
Well, one question, good presentation, by the way, but I understand your differentiation and it's really important, but what is your competitive advantage? How do you prevent someone from launching a line just like yours? What's the secret?
Sure. So a lot of it is the American tea industry right now for American grown tea is very early. And tea takes a while to grow. It takes 3 to 5 years for the plantation maturation. So part of the work that I've been doing is forging these connections with the actual tea farmers. I've been out to a couple plantations, have developed a formula because there isn't enough tea for any one plantation to make enough for an actual brand. So I developed a group of all of these brands, got in contract with them to only sell to us, and to essentially make this unique one that allows us to have a scalability in our supply chain. Additionally, with our human trafficking focus, we are working with these partner charities. And with any kind of CPG, once you reach big distribution, that is the pain point for entry. So that prevents somebody from just starting another company if they do not have that distribution and that brand.
Okay, another question. Anybody from Texana room or Simon? Really didn't leave room for questions. I mean, great presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, we have 2 more pictures left. So Madison, she will be pitching to you all a company called Panacea. All right, so before I begin my presentation, I just want to take a quick poll. How many of you guys have ever had the following thought? I need new friends. I want to go out, but I have no one to go out with. Or even, I have no idea what's going on tonight. Yeah? Yeah, me too. And so many other people. And my team and I are here to give you the solution to that. But first, let me give you some statistics. 3 in 5 Americans report feeling lonely, and that's before COVID. After COVID, that number has skyrocketed. Loneliness can show up in a variety of situations, from when you're feeling like by yourself and you're feeling sad, or when you're in a group of people that make you feel lonely. We're here to combat that. This is Panacea, the quickest, fastest, easiest way to make friends and find local events. But I know what you're all thinking. There are plenty of different communities where you're able to, meet different people and everything, and such as Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all these things. But that's different. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter connect groups of people to groups of people. Panacea's approach is totally different. We connect individuals with similar interests. So first, help Panacea make money. We have 3 sources of revenue: ads, the Panacea VIP membership subscription, and our partnerships with other businesses. Our ads will have, companies who want to have ads on our app will be able to pay a set amount of money depending on the type of ads, which will come in the form of banners, swipeable pictures, and the occasional video. And they'll be charged on a multiple of how many users that we have. The Panacea VIP subscription is $10 a month. However, the original Panacea the Panacea app is free for users to sign up for, meet people, and get discounts. However, the difference between the Panacea VIP subscription and that is for $10 a month, you can get exclusive access to events and discounts. The partnerships with other businesses is our final source of revenue. It's more like a Groupon style business model. We would be able to, our Panacea members would be able to purchase the products from our partners, and then our partners would give us a certain cut for giving them business. Now I'm going to go over the 2 aspects of our app: building friendships and combating loneliness, and connecting people to events. So how does this work? Panacea has an algorithm that connects people based on their interests, not how many likes someone has or how many swipe rights someone has, purely based on interest. When people sign up, they'll be able to enter all of the interests that they have, and they will be matched immediately with people who have those same interests. Secondly, what happens when people meet each other? So let's say you're going through Panacea, you find someone that you find is super cool. You're like, I really want to become friends with them. You say, I want to become friends, and both of you are directed to the chat center in our app. So, and then you guys be able to talk and become friends, and voila, a new friend. However, what happens if someone is too shy or doesn't know what to say? Well,
Panacea's thought about that as well. Panacea has already written out a multitude of different conversation starters that people could do based on their shared interests. The second aspect of our business is connecting people to events. So how does Panacea know about these events? With our business partnerships and with the partnership of event coordinators, we'll be able to know about all the local events and all the hottest events. However, what about events that aren't partners with Panacea? We know that sometimes events fall through the cracks. However, with our Panacea community, we will be able to have a place on the app and on the website that allows people to submit apps in order to be featured on Panacea. But we need your support. With your funding, we will be able to advertise, finish, and optimize our app in order to beat corporations in this new and untapped and high opportunity market. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Madison. All right, we're ready to take questions. You want to start? Go ahead, Tom. All right.
So I have a question that's focusing on the editor analysis.
Yes, absolutely.
Just doing a quick search, it seems like there are apps for runners to connect with runners, bombs to connect with bombs. It's a very niche component. You cite Bumblebee on that. I'm curious as to how you rate on a scale of 1 to 10 your ability to penetrate that market successfully from outreach, marketing, to traction. Because the market seems very crowded.
Yes, and I totally agree with that. However, with Bumblebee FF is probably one of the only other apps that have to do with friendship. But everyone else is dating apps and, large group meets, so where you can just be close into the abyss, And so the way we're able to penetrate the market is we start with the SMU community, and then we move out to Dallas. And then I already have a bunch of people in Arizona who would also be super interested in this app. I've already talked about this app to many of my high school friends who have said that they've started feeling lonely in college and they really wish that there's something like this. And the thing is with Bumble BFF is that there's not enough of a user base because Bumble is known as a dating app more as a friendship app.
Questions from the Zoom rules. Dora or Simon?
If y'all don't have any questions, I would love to show you my prototype as well. I have a question. Yeah, absolutely. Can I show you your prototype? Yes, absolutely. Thank you for showing that. Thank you for asking for that. So this is called wiretapping, by the way, is when you kind of show off your prototype or like kind of make it all work together. So as you can see, you can enter your username and password, but we're going to pretend we're brand new people. So, yeah. So when you press sign up today, you can enter your first name, last name, all the normal details that you would, and then you press continue, as you would as a normal setting up your account. So then we would ask to get to know you. We start with the major niches, just to make the survey shorter, but you can go into your profile and add as well. So let's say you kind of like sports. Did you press the 11 on sports? Yeah. So when you press 11 on sports, you're able to find out what your favorite sport. There is no problem yet. But you'll be able to drop down to basketball, soccer, volleyball, gymnastics, any of these things. And then what teams do you like on those sports? And you can even do multiple sports, by the way. So let's say I like football. You can put Dallas Cowboys, I like the Cardinals, Vikings. Do I play any sports? Yes, I do, actually. What sports do you play? I play volleyball. Would I like to be invited to play the local games? Of course, I love playing volleyball. Would I like notifications about sports events such as football and volleyball games? Yes, please. So now I press continue. And then I can say, what else do I like? I also really like music. You can choose your top music genres. You can connect your Spotify as well. And you learn about local festivals. That's not big festivals, festivals in general. Maybe let's continue, please. And then once you scroll to the bottom, you can press done. And you can do this for all of you, by the way, just for time's sake, I'm trying to speed this up a little bit. So then you get welcome to Panacea. Could you press, we're setting up your account now, please. So this would be your first page. A person that you see that you would like to, that could potentially become your friend. There's five of them from Lubbock, Texas, and Panacea sophomore at SMU. I'm majoring in electrical engineering at Human Track. This person seems interesting, but I'm not quite ready to learn about too much food yet. So I press yes here. Would you mind pressing yes? So Kristen Goodwin is next. She's from Scottsdale, Arizona. Oh my gosh, so am I. This is crazy. I swipe right on her. I'll press the check mark in this case. Woohoo! New friend! I'd like to send her a message. Oh my god, look, messaging page. Could you press start a conversation, please? Oh, you know what? I really don't know what to talk about with Kristen. I know that she kind of likes sports and she's from Arizona. Could you press conversation starters, please? Yeah, look at all these conversation starters I would be able to help. Oh look, I saw that you like to play volleyball. What position do you play? Would you press that, please?
Yeah, actually, we have to stop now.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. No, sorry, I got too excited about this.
Yeah, no. Thank you so much. So we're going to go ahead and do our last pitch. Okay. So Grace is going to be pitching our last pitch, and it's called Dress Code.
Hi guys, my name is Grace DeJohn. I'm a senior at SMU graduating in May with a degree in creative advertising, and this is my new concept, Dress Code. So Dress Code is an e-commerce and community website with the purpose of providing collegiate women a destination for high-value, fashionable, and convenient workwear, empowering them to feel confident and successful in the professional world. I came up with the idea of Dress Code when I was talking with my friends about how hard it was to find professional workwear that didn't make us feel like old ladies. That being said, the target for Dress Code is U.S. women aged 18 to 24 with some college or college degree. So basically, these women are interested in fashion, searching for jobs, or have a job. This would be 11.06 million women would be the potential market. I decided to put out a survey to women in this target to further understand their attitudes towards this problem. One of the questions I asked was, do you have trouble finding business clothing? Of all the respondents, 76.7% of them said yes. Another question was, do you feel you can express your style through your business clothing? 66.7% of them said no. So that means a lot of women don't have the resources or can't find items that they like to express their style with business clothing. And this is a problem because when we get dressed, hang out with our friends, or go on dates, we pick out outfits that make us feel comfortable, confident, and reflect our style. So why aren't we doing the same in the business world? Here's a mock-up that I made of the potential website. It functions kind of as a style box. So you have a bunch of different options, and you can click through these, and there'll be different styles of each option. So you're building your own unique buildable wardrobe. So the first rendition would be the chapter 1, so it would be a lot of basics, but then moving forward, we would launch more products and so that you can build onto those styles. So here's how we are with the competitors. The main advantage of Dress Code is that the target audience is super specific, so we can really curate and find items that are perfect for them. Another benefit of Dress Code is the networking community aspect. Dress Code will have a space for women to sign up to be part of the community, and that will give them access to different events like networking events, webinars with professional women, and resume reviews. So this is a new company concept, so I don't really have, these are all just kind of estimates, but Dress Code aims to sell products with a 40% margin is shown here. And also, I really believe in high quality items, so I wouldn't be purchasing from any online wholesalers. I would like to go to that Big in downtown Dallas and pick out items myself. So with a background in retail, I think that's really valuable, and we want to build that trust with the consumers. So that the number is flexible depending on the quality and price of the items. And also that $340 of the box would include potentially like a blazer, a blouse, skirt, pants, and shoes. So it's actually a really good value for the chapter 1 box. So the relevant market size would We project to reach 1% of the 11.06 million college enrolled women at first. So the target market for the initial launch is 110,600 women with a fixed cost of $340 per box and the Chapter 1 release. The calculated relevant market size is 37,604,000. So right now it's just me, but I'm really looking to build on my team because I think that this is a big project that needs a lot of people to help out. So I'm actively searching for team members, and like I said, this has been a month in the works, so haven't had a ton of time to reach out to people. So if you guys know anybody, else. Thank you.
Thank you. Great question. All right.
Yes.
You want to start internally here at Panacea?
Sure.
Peter.
Love the big market, and it's a very valuable segment to get involved with. Having competitors is a good thing because you can see what they're doing and you can then look at how you can differentiate and focus on what's going to make you unique. So well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would definitely say, so I do recognize that I was a very broke college student. I do recognize that there are lots of young women in many college who still have connections to needs, and so that kudos to you on sticking with a market that you understand and that you know has the resources. But I definitely think that you could possibly have the opportunity to look at the luxury consignment market to be able to offer college girls or college women high-end items that were far less expensive, and higher quality than the big. And so definitely, as I know you're like to join a month in, and you're kind of refining who your audience is, what their affordability. If they feel like buying a box for $340 compared to what they can piece together themselves outside of the box, I would definitely look into those types of things. But with the right branding and penetration of your actual market, differently than the real and others, because they kind of focus on women like me. Then I think you could be successful.
So kind of going off of what you said about that, where I came up with these numbers was based on that same survey I sent out to these women. I asked, like, what would you guys spend on these certain items? So that's kind of how I pieced that 340 together. And also, like I said, I would like to produce more or sell more high quality items. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the Zoom room? You can look at, where's the Zoom camera? Look at Fiora and then look straight ahead. Because the camera's right there. Oh, I see. Yeah. Go ahead, Fiora, do you have a question?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, good. All right, is that it then? Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Jennifer, Camille, you're all muted. We can't hear anything from you.
You can't hear me anymore? Hey, Camille, are we on? We're not live. Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, we just have to make sure we're not, double check that and make sure we're close. Okay, hold on, we're still on here right now. Yeah, hold on. All right, thank you very much, everyone. We're going to deliberate for some moments here with our judges online and also in person. We will be down at the Texana room, or I'm sorry, down at the Fondren Starbucks area very soon to announce our Big Ideas business plan winners for 2021. Thank you so much, and thank you guys that pitched. You were wonderful.
Yes,
this was an amazing year. Camille, did you want to say something?
Yes, please vote for your fan favorite on Buzzit. You can go to buzzit.ca and type in Big Ideas, and that will take you to the voting for your fan favorite. The fan favorite gets some extra money for their picks, so be sure to vote. Thanks, guys.